Today we're going to explain how a DJ console is made, specifically the Pioneer XDJ-XZ model. Let's start at the top right with these two pots. Here we have two USBs that can be inserted, USB 1 and USB 2. As we can see from here, they can be ejected USB stop, for instance. We insert the flash drive into USB 1. The two master rack and track bar buttons are used to record the DJ set that we want to record here. We have the level of the indicator light where our speakers are connected, in this case to pot. Thus, we increase and decrease the level of the music of the output speakers, and this would be the master, the volume of the master, and this is the equalizer of the master: treble, mid, and bass in this part. We have a deck in this other part, we have another deck. And all this part instead involves the mixer. This is the screen where we can choose songs and scroll through our playlists. Let's pretend that we want to choose a song, so let's go to the level of the screen. Let's go look for browse or USB 1, either one's fine. USB 1, click, scroll down to playlist, click again. Go to our playlist that interests us in this case. Among my best deck houses, for example, Baby, again, we put it in channel 1 because here, channel 1 and channel 2, channel 1. We put it here, for example, if we want to click, even if it was already inserted, we go to Baby again, click 2, and it inserts it here as well. In fact, in this case, if we click play, we increase the level of the spy part of the music, but also part of this side, because in both decks, the same music has been inserted. So with this green button, we have already seen that it is the button of the play and pause of the channel. We finish seeing this screen precisely record box. It is when we connect the computer to our console link, is when you connect other players to this mixer, since it's a 4-channel mixer. And USB 2 is if we had put the stick in USB 2 to look for our songs. When browsing, we also find the info item where it gives us some of the specifications of the song. In this case, Baby again tells us that it is 127 BPM, in what key is, in this case, G minor, thanks to the menu button. We can, for example, press how we want the songs to be classified, by BPM, by key, etc. if we wanted to choose another song or another playlist. Just click back, go to Latin House, for example, scroll, and go to the desired song. In any case, to go back, you always use the back button. Now let's move on to the mixer. All this part is about the mixer. In this case, it tells us channel 3 and channel 4. Because in these two channels, 3 and 4, we can connect to two other players via IRCA, one here and one here. In this case, I, for example, have only connected a launchpad. And so in channel 3 in this case, and now we will see that channel 3 will play. But channel 4 is not connected to anything. So it's as if it doesn't exist. Let's move forward through our channels. If I were to hit play on Baby again and turn up the volume, this is the channel's volume, the channel's output volume. There's another volume that can be adjusted in the channel's output, which is this trim. If I increase the trim, the output volume increases. If I decrease it, the volume doesn't even reach the channel anymore. Moving on and going down, we see high, mid, low, and color written high. Mid, low is the equalizer, the frequency band, where if we click our play, this is our channel play. We increase the volume, we remove the bass. We remove the mids, we remove the treble. We increase the treble, we increase the mids, we increase the bass. We hardly ever increase the volume here. If we were to increase the volume, there would be a distortion sound coming out. Channel 2 works in the same way. If we hit play bass, mid-range, high range, if I remove all the volume, remains at minimum. If I turn everything up, the volume nearly reaches the maximum. There's the gray button, this one here where it says color. The effects are decided by the sound color, FX. We find it here, crash noise sweep. Different effects that can be inserted inside the console, and we use the filter. We see that the sound goes into the low filter. In this case it is low, or it can go to the high filter to create a filter effect, either low pass or high pass. But the most used is precisely the filter. For example, crash is this, crash is this. The most used is the filter. As I was saying, you can also adjust the intensity of the filter from this parameter. Continuing on this right-hand side, this whole part here is going to be about the effects that we apply to our channels. In this case, if you see here, is where the effect is applied. In this case, we choose, for example, channel 2. We turn up channel 2, we put the volume up a little bit, we set our effect, in this case, echo. We click. So in this way, it's active and we use an echo. With that, the echo beats. Here. So we can remove the effect, so we increase the effect, so it's distorted. With these other 3 keys, you can remove the frequencies. In this case, I removed the bass, on which the effect will be applied. Let's go now to the two decks, the two players, which are built in the same way as you can clearly see, so you can take one into analysis like another. Let's start our track. In this case, the baby gain is always the same, with the play button, and with the button, this can be used both as a play and as a pause button. This green one, so play button, but also pause. Now let's see what the Q is for. The Q is a button that we preset, or it is automatically preset at the beginning of a song, at the first bar of the song. But as soon as we release it, the song stops. As long as we hold it, the song goes on. As soon as we leave the song, it stops. To make it go after we have preset the Q, we have to press Q, and then the play button. Then the song goes Q and then play button, and the song can go. We can pause again. If the song is stopped, we see that if we click Q, look what happens here. The Q goes on at the same time as the bar of the channel pause. So in this case, if we go forward and resume Q, it comes back here. If we take here and stop, the Q is set where we put the pause. For example, by bringing the song to this bar and clicking Q, we have brought the song to this point. This is super useful in the case of hot cues, where I've preset them with record boxes. I have them nearly all set. For example, this is a pre-drop point of the song. These orange ones constitute the loops, which we are going to explore in this part, what loops are. For example, I have preset it. It's a part of the song that repeats endlessly as soon as I don't click exit or reloop with this button and exit the loop. So you see, the song repeats. If I click exit, the song comes out. From here we introduce another concept, loops. If we click the start and end buttons, the loop will be inserted and closed. This is a manual loop you can insert. So for instance, we insert and the loop will repeat endlessly. If we click it, it will exit. We can also do it by 2, and we can also do it by 4 by increasing call by 2 with this, or by doing it by 4 by clicking while holding. This is a loop of 4. You can double it to make it a loop, in this case 32/16. By using this memory delete feature, you can insert memory. These would be the recorded points where you want to start the track. This is another task that you set up prior with Rekordbox on your computer. With delete, we remove the memory points. Another function is the slip. If we touch the jog while using it, the song still keeps progressing and it will pick up from where it left off. It won't stop. In fact, if we deactivate it, the song stops and resumes exactly from where we left off. With the slip, the song is continuously progressing. Another way to navigate through the track is along with the jog, you can activate the vinyl mode. If we turn on the vinyl mode, we can spin it in this way. If we disable the vinyl mode, as soon as we click pause, this effect happens automatically. With the vinyl mode, you can pause and move the song wherever you want. With the slip, the song keeps on progressing. With the slip, the song keeps on progressing. For shift, for example, we input the hotkeys or we deactivate them by clicking. Thanks to shift with search, we can instead move within the track with track search. We change instead the track in our list. So, for instance, after baby gain, jungle will follow track search. As you can clearly see, it takes us to jungle if we go back, baby gain again, and return. So now we are moving on to the most important part, basically these. Before proceeding to the most important part, which is precisely the BPM, as you can see. This little number in the bottom right is the BPM. We correct it with this tempo. These are the song's BPM. Let's go to the vinyl speed adjust, where we can adjust this valve and clicking pause by increasing this vinyl speed. Adjust to the maximum. When we click play, it takes longest possible time to stop the track instead. Like this, it will take as little time as possible. It's instantaneous. Another way is the jog. Adjust this way, it's as heavy as possible. Hence, it does not flow like this. Instead, it will flow endlessly. Now let's move on to the most important part, the sync. The purpose here is to synchronize the BPM of both tracks. In this case, they're both at 128, 128. But this technique is often misused by less scrupulous people. Let's focus on the BPM. As we mentioned, we can adjust the BPM. For variety, let's choose different tracks. say sold my soul. You'll notice that it's at 100. We aren't limited in how we set it, but as an example, we can put it at 129. Alright, we'll set a 4-beat loop, so the loop will repeat indefinitely. In this case, let's set the BPM at 129 because we must synchronize the tracks. To do this, we hit play while following the beats. So here, we move the track to the beginning, and when we feel the beat, the song comes in. Let's put a loop of 4 here too, for example. The songs are set to time. It's obvious that if we increase the BPM to 130, the songs would slowly desynchronize. Master tempo is needed to not make the voice sound sloppy, not to make the tonality of the voice out of phase. If we increase the BPM and remove master tempo, the note of the song changes. More or less 6, plus or minus 10, plus or minus 16. Wide is useful precisely if we increase the time to plus or minus 16. We can reach a maximum of 147. If we click, for example, here again and click plus 10 precisely from here, plus 10, we can reach a maximum of 139. So this is always done for the concept of putting in time and seeing how far we have to bring our track. Finally, to conclude, we have the headphones part. So we have the mix where we want to connect. We connect our headphones. This will be the volume of our headphones. To listen to the songs in the headphones, we'll click these buttons. Exactly, if we click now on the channel where the sound is coming out, we take the headphones. I remove the output volume, and you can hear that the volume in the headphones is coming out. If I remove it, the volume in the headphones does not come out. These parts, true A and B, are used for this crossfader. Exactly. If we click B and bring in A, we do not enter. The volume in B will hear true, which means deactivated. So there is no activation at the same time. In this way, if we go from a song A and B, we put it in A and B, and we transition from one song, in this case Sold My Soul, to another. Specifically, if timed right, it creates a nice effect. To finish today's explanation, the section in the upper left, where there are 2 sections for the microphone. The microphones that connect here behind, respectively. We have a microphone equalizer, bass, mid, and treble, as before. This part is for microphone 1. This part is for microphone 2. They are off, not on. Obviously, microphones must be connected, and that's it for today. You can completely eject the flash drive first, because if not, we'll lose some data. Eject the flash drive and you can turn off the console.